What the fudgmacles is going on with price? My goodness, just a big bloodbath. It's like the market is adamant on beating us down and beating out those diamond hands. But let's go ahead and really dissect the story. What's going on here? Now I get, while everyone's looking for reasons as to why crypto is dumping, there's always a reason, okay? The one thing that's going to sniff out the reason before you hear it is always going to be price action. And just 2 weeks ago, we actually got the signal on the loss of that weekly dynamic support, which is where I took a bit off on my position. Now, full disclosure, I did end up selling a bit more on this most recent Monday open. So right now, I am left with 55% of my original position. But now, is it all just doom and gloom for XRP? I don't think so. Okay, in fact, personally, would I short XRP right here? No. Shorting XRP is a very scary proposition, because what you need to understand about this project, this community, more importantly, is that it has one of the most strongest mind shares in all of crypto. If I really have to draw in from all of my experience over the years now, almost 10 years, the XRP network community, that mind share that it has is resilient. This is not going anywhere, which is why shorting XRP is a freaking scary proposition, because when XRP moves, it can move like this. It can move 115% in a matter of 1 week. The volatility really kicks in here. I mean, consider this. Even in the cycle of 2021, where XRP was just full of FUD, it climbed a wall of worry. But even on that climb, guys, it still managed to pull off an 800% move. This was XRP climbing a wall of worry. That is not the case this time around. That mind share is stronger than ever. I don't think XRP is going anywhere. So hear me out. As far as trades are concerned, I mean, there's volatility in the market, okay? As a trader, the only thing that you should be worried about is volatility. For as long as there's volatility, there's money to be made. Now, I had been trading XRP, which is why I decided to get out as soon as my system broke. But now let's talk about what's happening with XRP right now at this very moment. Do I see it falling a bit more? Yes, I do. Where to from here? Well, bottom the biweekly dynamic. I see it tapping this entire zone from around 220 all the way down to $1.94. In fact, price action actually printed a splendid picture for us with a descending triangle formation that broke right here on that volatile liquidation move back on October 10th, which then morphed into a bear flag that we have officially broken down from. Now, if we take the measured move of the flag and plot it on the break, this is likely going to take XRP all the way down to $2.05. Now, here's the deal, guys. Coming down to the $2 mark is still safe zone. And this is something that I'd mentioned in my previous analysis as well. $2 is that point of contention. For as long as the monthly candle can close over, the bulls still have a fighting chance. So I cannot possibly throw in the towel on the bull run just yet, especially not while Bitcoin is still holding the monthly 10-simp moving average, one of its key cyclical indicators to help us gauge if we're in a bull market or not. For those of you interested in Bitcoin's bull run range, which you should be, so please go ahead and take note of this, it comes in from around $102,000 down to $95,000. Of course, these levels dynamically change as we get more volatility on the chart and we get more price action on the chart. So if you guys want to stay up to date with these levels, make sure you're hitting the sub and the bell icon. And hey, if we get the right signals, I will be strengthening my XRP bag right here. If I'm being honest here, now these are personal opinions, okay? This is not financial advice. This has nothing to do with TA. But if the market does turn here, I don't think these downturns are going to last too long, okay? As far as the landscape is concerned in terms of liquidity and very important variables for a healthy market is concerned, I think we're heading into a much more healthier phase getting into the end of 2025 as well as 2026. And of course, if that changes, I'll come out here and tell you that, okay, I think that this is going to be turning in earnest. But right now, what this is telling me is that I wouldn't jump the gun in getting too overly cyclically bearish. While XRP's weekly trend trade has come to an abrupt end, I don't think we can throw in the towel too fast. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to be completely unbiased here. So if you guys want to be following this XRP story with me, make sure you're subscribing to the channel. because like I said, I think that this is still one of the most bullish altcoins there is in this space, and there has been since like 2017, since its inception. It doesn't matter in what phase of the market. I actually put out an XRP video. I'm always so shocked to see the kind of interest on XRP updates, right? And that should say something about the kind of mindshare, irrespective of where price is sitting at. I don't want to use this particular word, but I'm going to use it for the lack of a better word at this point. But it's almost like a bit of a cult. It's an idea. It's a way of thinking, and that's XRP. Okay, and these are coins that I often do not like to fight against. So even for those of you who are looking to short XRP, the way I would like to look at it is how Sean explains it to you guys. If you're looking to take the short, personally, I would take a proxy short on an asset that's looking bad, doesn't have the kind of mind share that XRP has. So even if it does fall, there are a lot more paper hands in that will send price cascading. I feel like XRP is one of those coins that have a lot of diamond hands even still. I mean, we have community members who've been holding XRP since 2017. All right, so that should tell you the kind of diamond hands we have on XRP. So if you guys are looking at short, be smart about your shorts, irrespective of what you're trading. If it's XRP or something else, look for the more weaker assets with the more weaker hands. All right, because that's going to be a much, much, much better short to jump into as a proxy to protect your positions that are actually holding up well. And I would argue that XRP is actually holding up much better than most altcoins out there right now. XRP on the dashboard as well, 4-hour and 12-hour time frame shorts, volatility at 95 and 73, telling me that, hey, if the bears are getting into a zone of exhaustion, it could be relatively soon. I want you guys to start using the dashboard to figure out when we could start seeing those bounces. Because what happens often is that traders get too fixated on the dump and they get too spooked out on it, and they end up selling at really, really bad levels. They end up selling right into support. I mean, I just showed you bi-weekly support on XRP, and every time XRP has come down to the bi-weekly support, we've seen crazy, crazy bounces off of that. Now, yes, while there's something to be said about crypto's bull run staying intact owing to Bitcoin, I'll say this: if XRP starts losing $2, starts closing underneath $2, okay, I'm looking for bi-weekly or monthly candle closes underneath $2, we're likely going to see a bigger move to the downside. Like I said, through the years, through the cycles, I don't think XRP is going anywhere, but for this cycle at the very least, I think the bull market comes to an end, at which point we're getting into bear market territory, but that is only on the loss of $2. If we start doing that, I'll be taking out whatever's left of my position off the table. Now, what are the chances of that happening? Now, I do take sentiment quite seriously. As you can see through the cycle, every time crypto fear and greed has dipped into fear, we've only had it 3 times in the past. Once in August of 2023, the next one was in the summer of 2024, then earlier this year of 2025, and now once again for the 4th time we're back down at fear. But in all 3 prior instances, the markets actually rallied. Okay, they had their next massive moves to the upside. Okay, Bitcoin as well as XRP, as well as most of the altcoins out there. And if I really had to ask you guys, how often do markets top off in moments of extreme fear? You're going to find that it almost has never happened. It always gets to greed or extreme greed before prices top off. Additionally, we also know that Bitcoin is looking good relative to its cyclical supports. This right here is XRP versus Bitcoin. And you can see that XRP against Bitcoin is still holding the monthly dynamic support, which is what I mean by it is still doing relatively well than most freaking altcoins out there. It's only when this pair starts breaking the monthly dynamic support will I say that, hey, the ball is in Bitcoin's court right now. Bitcoin is likely going to outperform XRP in the short term. But all this while, since November of last year, XRP has been doing exceptionally well against Bitcoin. Now remember, guys, I get it, there's volatility, and if the volatility is going against you right now and you're getting scared, you're getting spooked out, don't let the volatility spook you into making a bad trade decision. Zoom out, look at the bigger picture, and stay disciplined on your systems. Now, mine was the weekly dynamic that kept me on the right side of this one. Yours could be something else, but notice how unbiased systems such as this one will help you stay profitable in the long term. Not only do I get to live to fight another day, but I get to do so in profits. Now, I will be linking the dynamic indicator in the description below for those of you who want to check it out. We will also be following all of these various pattern plays that are currently unfolding on XRP's chart in the Discord chat, So come on in and join the Discord chat. And for those of you who really want to level up your trading and the way you look at charts, that way you don't need me to come out here constantly and show you what's happening, when it's happening, where it's happening, well then check out the Sprouts program. Module 7 is particularly on pattern plays. I will be linking this in the description below as well. I will now see you in the Discord chat. With this, trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the mango way, trade the easy way. Chat, you guys.